Hello, everyone, and welcome to A Good Sports Show. I'm your host, Randy Goodman. Hope everybody is having a great week. This is episode 10 of A Good Sports Show. You can follow the show on social media. Just search for A Good Sports Show on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We can continue the conversation there after the show. And then also too, you can email the show at a good sports show at gmail.com. Sorry, I'm kind of struggling this week. I've had sinus issues and my voice has gone in and out and it's just been a mess, but we'll try to work through it here. Lots to talk about on this week's show. We've got Super Bowl 54 recap with the Chiefs and 49ers. Little XFL talk. And I put a Insta story out there asking our fans if they wanted me to add XFL coverage in this week, and it was a unanimous yes. So we're adding in XFL talk this week. We've got a little SMU basketball to talk about. North Texas Mean Green basketball. Mavs, what they're up to. And then a little wrestling talk to kind of wrap up the show this week. All right, so we're going to dive right into it. Super Bowl 54 was last Sunday. It was the Chiefs and the 49ers playing each other. And this was actually a really good game. I really enjoyed watching the Super Bowl. The halftime show, not so much. J-Lo and Shakira, I'm just not going to dive into that. So anyway, back to the game. So San Francisco, they were up 20-10 at the end of the third quarter. And it looked like San Francisco was just possibly going to run away with this. But then, of course, in the back of your mind, you're like, Mahomes and the Chiefs, they love to be down 10-plus points and make comebacks and stuff. We've seen in the NFL this past season. And they did that. And they outscored the 49ers 21-0 in the fourth quarter. And 14 of those points came in a minute and 32 second span to win the Super Bowl 31-20. Patrick Mahomes was named the Super Bowl MVP. He was 26 for 42. He threw for 286 yards, had 3 total touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He had a great game. I actually think that Damian Williams should have been named MVP. He had 17 rushing attempts for 104 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then he scored on the 38-yard touchdown run with 1:20 left in the game to ice the game for the Chiefs. But Williams was outstanding in this game for Kansas City. And then looking at what the Chiefs defense did, they just gave up they gave up 141 yards rushing and 1 touchdown to a San Francisco rushing game that had been on fire the past couple weeks at the end of the regular season and going into the playoffs. So the Chiefs kind of limited them on that. And then Garoppolo, he was 20 of 31 for 219 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Jimmy G, I thought he would have a better game than what he had in the Super Bowl. But yeah, all in all, it was a very entertaining game to watch, and I was happy for the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, and this first Super Bowl in 50 years, and great fan base, and it was really fun to watch. And I believe the Chiefs are going to be back next year playing for the Super Bowl again. Now, who will they be playing in Tampa in Super Bowl 55? Don't know yet. Could it be the Packers? Could it be the Seahawks? Maybe the Cowboys? Oh, whoa, uh-oh, I hear some disgruntling out there. Oh, so calm down. I'm not saying the Cowboys are going to be in the Super Bowl yet, like Skip Bayless has already said. So we'll just kind of tap the brakes on that. But But yeah, I think the Chiefs will be back in the Super Bowl next year. So yeah, that's a recap of Super Bowl 55. It was a great NFL season. And so kind of switching gears, we're going to talk about the XFL. And they kick off their season on Saturday. They have 8 teams in the league. Kind of run down the games here real quick. They have the Seattle Dragons at the DC Defenders. That's a 2 p.m. Eastern game on ABC. And then you have the Los Angeles Wildcats at the Houston Roughnecks. Interesting name there. That game's on Fox, and that's a 5 p.m. Eastern start on Saturday. So that's the first 2 games of the XFL season. And then Sunday, there's the Tampa Bay Vipers at the New York Guardians. It's an interesting name for a team. That's going to be on Fox. That's a 2 p.m. Eastern start time for that game. And then you have our local team here. You've got the Dallas Renegades. They're playing their first home game at Globe Life Park against the St. Louis Battlehawks. And that game's going to be on ESPN at 5 p.m. Eastern. And the Renegades, they're coached by Big Game Bob Stoops. So that'll be kind of fun to watch. Now, as far as the teams go, like individual player stuff, I honestly haven't dug that far deep look at all these rosters for the teams. So maybe here in the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna do some research and I'll have some names out there for you. And I'm sure there's be some names that come across social media and stuff for these XFL teams that are doing really good. Just kind of like just really skimming across here on the rules and everything for the XFL. You've got the kickoff rule. The kicker kicks from the 30-yard line, and he must kick the ball in the air and in play between the opponent's 20-yard line and the end zone. And so, of course, with the NFL rule, the NFL kicks off from the 35-yard line. You got 5 players on each side, as you know, and the ball can be kicked out of bounds or kicked out of the end zone for a touchback, or out of bounds and placed at the 40-yard line. So I guess the rationale in this is they're trying to eliminate safety issues with kickoffs. And so we'll just kind of see. And then, of course, the increase in touchbacks naturally leads to fewer returns, which means fewer meaningful plays. So we'll just kind of see how that goes with the kickoffs and stuff. The one I'm interested in is the point after touchdown. So the XFL rule for this. So after a touchdown, the team's got an option of running a play from the 2, the 5, or the 10-yard line. And the points on those plays are going to be worth 1, 2, or 3 points. And the team's got to run offensive play and no kicking plays are allowed. So that'll be kind of interesting. And then if the defense can cause a turnover and return the ball to the opponent's end zone, the resulting score is equal to the number of points the offense was attempting to score on its PAT. So we'll just kind of see how that goes there. And their rationale for this rule, they've had the opportunity for the 3-point play, and that also means if a team's down 18 points, it's still considered a 2-possession game. So, and then fans told the XFL that the 3-point play creates more strategy and innovation for the coaches. So that's an interesting rule there on the point after touchdown. I'll be watching that close to see how the fans are taking that new rule. But yeah, so the XFL, I don't know, some people are kind of like, we don't need football all year round. And I mean, like with me, I'm already having withdrawals, and we're just less than a week from the NFL season being over, and I've already started my NFL draft research and everything. And I don't know, I'll kind of watch along with the XFL, just just kind of see how things are going, and I may even go to a Dallas Renegades game. So, but yeah, and also too, if you want to read more about the XFL like rules and the schedule and the teams and everything, just go to xfl.com, and you can see all the rules, and they have fan shop and Q&As and things like that. So, all right, so now we're going to switch from the football field over to the basketball court, and the SMU Mustangs basketball team. Right now they're 16-5 overall, good season. They have a 6-3 conference record, not bad, doing good. We're almost in NCAA tournament season. We've got about another month before the before March Madness starts. The upcoming games for SMU, they have Temple. That's a road game this Saturday. And then they're home against UConn next Wednesday on the 12th. So go out and support the Mustangs. These two should be really good games coming up. And then heading up to Denton, the North Texas Mean Green. They have an 8-2 conference record, which is really good, and a 14-9 overall record. So the Mean Green are having a really good season. And their upcoming games, they have Middle Tennessee, which is actually tonight. And then they have UAB, which actually that's a road game, and that is this Saturday the 8th. All right, so now we're going to go from college basketball to talking about the Mavs. Oh, man, last night was rough to watch. The Mavs lost to the Grizzlies 121-107. Another game without Luka. And the Mav injury bug, man, it's a growing list. We already have Seth Curry out with the left knee injury. Porzingis, last night he left in the third quarter, has a broken nose, so he's listed day to day. Barea, he's got a left ankle injury. He's out. Powell's out for the season with his Achilles. Then you've got Doncic. He's out with a ankle injury. So yeah, the Mavs they're in rough shape. They've gone 5-5 in the last 10 games. Really good on the road though, but when they play here at home, I just don't understand why they get off to rough starts or just let teams get out like a 10 or 15 point lead and they're just trying to battle back in the game. I mean, it's just really frustrating to watch. But yeah, back to the Grizzly game. Porzingis, he had 32 points, 12 rebounds. The key stat in this game, Memphis went on a 21-3 run. I believe that game was tied 71-71 in the third quarter. And then once Porzingis went out, man, Memphis just tore him up going on that 21-3 run. So with that loss, the Mavs, they dropped to 7th in the Western Conference standings. They've got a record of 31-20. Like I said, they're great on the road. They're 17-7 on the road. They're second in the Western Conference scoring with averaging a little over 116 points a game and shooting 45.9%. The upcoming games they got 2 road games. The game against the Wizards on Friday night, that one's going to be a little tough. Better watch out for Beal. They've got the Wizards Friday night, and then they got the Hornets on Saturday night. And both those, like I said, those are road games. And then a little Mavericks Nuggets for you. Tim Hardaway Jr., he shot 42.3%, and he's averaging 14.2 points per game for the Mavs. And Finney Smith, he's been doing great. He scored 9.3 points over the last 10 games. So Hardaway Jr. and Finney Smith, they really got to step up with all these players out with injuries. And the Mavs, they had no trades today. The NBA trade deadline expired at 2 o'clock this afternoon, 3 Eastern, 2 Central. And I was kind of hoping that I was going to, when I was recording the show today, that I'd have some Mavs trades to announce, and nope, crickets chirping. So the only thing I can think of is maybe the Mavs will be buyers in the buyout market. A lot of these NBA teams will have players that end up buying out their contracts, and then they'll end up being free agents, and then you'll see kind of a flurry of playoff teams grab these guys as quick as they can. So we'll kind of see how that goes. I know the Mavs need another 3-and-D defender, or 3-and-D player. We'll see what they can do here. But yeah, Luka, they need Luka back in the lineup. Losing Powell, that's huge for this team. Powell was doing so good for the Mavs, and we were really clicking with him in the starting lineup. So yeah, Porzingis, he'll just be playing through the nose injury and kind of go from there. And then kind of talk about some of these NBA trades. There was a 4-team trade. You may have not seen this. The Rockets, the Hawks, the Timberwolves, and the Nuggets were involved in this trade. The Rockets got Robert Covington, which the Mavericks were trying to get. The Rockets really wanted him. They got him and Jordan Bell. The Hawks got Clint Capella and Nene. Timberwolves got Malik Beasley. He's mainly the big name in this. Evan Turner, Hernan Gomez, and Vanderbilt. And they also got a first-round pick. The Nuggets got Gerald Green and Shabazz Napier. And they also got a first-round pick in 2020. The other trades, I know the Mavs were trying to get Alec Burks and Glenn Robinson III. The 76ers swooped in and got them from the Warriors. The Warriors, in return, they got 3 second-round picks, one in 2020, one in 2021, and one in 2022. So I know those, like I said, those two guys, Burks and Robinson III, were high on the Mavs list to try to get a trade. And the other ones, one of the other big trades this was the Heat. They got Iguodala from the Grizzlies. Miami Heat, they look like they're all in this year. I believe right now they're 4th in the Eastern Conference. They got Iguodala, Crowder, and Solomon Hill. The Grizzlies got Winslow, James Johnson, and Deion Waiters. I'm telling you, the Grizzlies, I believe they're 1 game above 500 now, but look out for this team in the next couple of years. They've got a young nucleus, and John Morant, he's just tearing it up for the Grizzlies. And I believe that was, and then also, then the other big trade, you got Warriors and the Wolves. The Timberwolves, they got D'Angelo Russell, Evans, and Spielman. The Warriors get Andrew Wiggins. And then they also get 2 draft picks in return. Wiggins, to me, he just, I don't know. I don't want to call him a bust, but, the Powell really hasn't done a whole lot in the NBA. So we'll kind of see how he does with the Warriors. The Warriors are thinking, well, if he can get around that championship culture and the winning culture and stuff, maybe he can turn things around, and we'll kind of see. We'll see with Wiggins. The Warriors are down this year, and we'll see if they can bounce back next season. And then you also got Andre Drummond. He's going to Cleveland. He was at Detroit. And then what's really funny, the last trade, really before the deadline, the Clippers and the the Lakers were trying to get Marcus Morris. And so the Clippers swooped in and got him. They got Marcus Morris and Isaiah Thomas. And the Knicks got Harkless, a 2020 first-round pick, and then a 2023 second-round pick. And so that was kind of funny to watch on the trade deadline to see where Marcus Morris is going to land. But yeah, so that's our wrapping up some of our NBA talk. The NBA trade deadline this week was the big thing going on in the NBA. And then next week, on next week's show, I'll be talking about the NBA All-Star Game and some of my favorite memories from past NBA All-Star games and All-Star Weekend and such. All right, so now I'm going to get my wrestling trunks on and get my robe on, and I'm going to step inside the ring, and we're going to talk a little wrestling here. The road to WrestleMania has already started. The Royal Rumble was last week, and Drew McIntyre won the Royal Rumble, and he announced that he's going to take on Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. It'll be an interesting matchup. Good to see some new blood in there taking on Lesnar. We don't have Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns challenging Lesnar again. Just fresh face in there, and I know the company's really trying to push McIntyre, so that'll be a fun match to watch. And then 3 of the other matches that were kind of rumored to be announced. You've got Randy Orton versus Edge, Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair for the NXT title. And then you've got The Fiend, Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns. They haven't started a feud against each other, so we'll kind of see how that plays out. The Orton Edge match I'm interested in watching, and I'm interested in seeing Ripley versus Flair too. Ripley is really talented, and she's a great NXT champion, so her and Flair, that'll be one of the highlights, I think, of WrestleMania coming up. And then we've got the AEW Dynamite show this past week. And Cody Rhodes, he took 10 lashes from MJF. Actually took 9 lashes, and then Warlow gave the other lash. Oh man, you could hear just that snap against Cody's back all across the arena. And you can go online and social media and see all the whelps and just the lash. I mean, just Cody's back just looks brutal after he took the 10 lashes last night. And of course, that was one of the stipulations for MJF to get in the ring with him. He had to take the 10 lashes. And he's also got to face Warlow in, I believe it's 2 weeks inside a steel cage in Atlanta. So, Dynamite's a good show to watch. Some of the talent you may not know, and if you just keep watching on a weekly basis and kind of go to social media and stuff, these guys and girls are really, really talented. And then you've got Jon Moxley versus Chris Jericho for the E title. That one I'm looking forward to. I'd actually pay for that one. But I'll end up probably watching the match on YouTube a couple of days after. But Moxley and Jericho, man, that's going to be money. That's just going to be a money match. And then, like I said, Rhodes is going to take on MJF. Rhodes is going to, of course, escape the cage and stuff. And we're going to have our Rhodes versus MJF match and get our payoff, I think, at that pay-per-view. And then I think Cody's going to whip MJF's ass all over the arena, pillar to post. That's just going to be a joy to watch. We've been waiting for the payoff for months on this match, and I'm highly interested in this one. And, of course, there's going to be some more matches to come on the AEW Dynamite show for the Evolution pay-per-view that's happening on Saturday, February the 28th from Chicago. All right, so that wraps up our wrestling talk this week. That actually wraps up our whole show. Wow, that went really quick. Just want to thank you for tuning in. We can continue the conversation on social media. Send me a message or leave a comment on the Facebook page or on Instagram. And I'll be back next week with a full sports show. I hope you have a great weekend, and we will talk to you soon. So long.